Recently in the United States, there was a librarian who was sacked from her job after 15 years because of a book that was included in the library.
Oh my God, this is a ridiculous case, actually. The book apparently had references to transgender people in it, and it was a story about this. And of course, things are gone so right-wing over there, Paul, that like they ban books like that are good information for parents, you know, to normalise these things for children.
See, they don't agree that it's normal.
No, they don't.
They think it's abhorrent.
Yeah.
And that it's sinful as well. The interesting thing is, in doing research for this, it's not parents, it's not individual people who are objecting to these books. It's lobby groups, it's right-wing activists, conservatives, fundamentalist Christians.
Well, I mean, they're always the ones that make the decisions in the end, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really, like the ones with the power. So they get into strength in numbers. They get into a big group and they start saying, oh, we don't want our children reading this and whatever else. Or they launch these ridiculous campaigns like that make transgender people look like paedophiles.
Yeah.
And it's horrific.
Yeah, they don't make that distinction. It's interesting that a lot of people would say, well, American is Christian. It isn't. And in their constitution, the founding fathers of the states, most of them were Freemasons. And they deliberately didn't want religion to play a part in the foundation of the state. In a similar way that many people say Ireland is Catholic. Well, no. It's not. There's a lot of Catholics, but there's lots of other religions as well. So state and religion should be two separate things. But it's interesting, like they call themselves the land of the free.
Oh, yeah.
They are anything but free. The amount of books that have been banned and people who have been targeted because they advocate a message or a story that doesn't line up with what they believe their values, their Christian values should represent.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, isn't it?
It is mad. So, like, I love sitting and talking to somebody who disagrees with me. Somebody who has a different point of view.
Yeah.
As long as we can debate, not argue, but we can debate and talk. I feel educated after such a thing.
Yeah.
I might be further entrenched in my position, or I might have moved from my position because now I've been exposed to new information that I didn't know, or maybe I see something in a new way.
Yeah.
And that to me is the value of books.
Oh, definitely. I love books. Absolutely love them. And it's something that I definitely would have read to the children a lot when they were growing up and all different things. But I remember years ago, was it The Lover's Guide or something like that?
That was a
here
video.
in Ireland.
That was no well.
It was a video, yeah.
No, it was The Joy of
30.
Sex, going back to the late 60s, early 70s, which was a book about sex and about, there was illustrations in it. I think
Kama Sutra.
Well, it wasn't even Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra was much older than that. But they famously say, like, there was no sex in Ireland until the Late Show, until
That's right.
invented it in the 1980s. I don't know where all the babbies came from before that. It was a miracle.
Do you know what happened?
It was a miracle of Catholicism, as I call
right.
it. But banning of books goes right back, even like the Nazis and what's happening in the States at the moment. Is similar to what was happening pre-war in Germany, where there was they were going around and picking people off the streets, whether they were Jewish or whether they were people who the state decided were couldn't be in public and taken off to concentration camps.
Yeah.
And ISIS doing something similar in the States. But the other thing is, I came across a quote from Sigmund Freud, where the Nazis were burning books that didn't support their worldview.
Oh my
God. And
God.
were burning Sigmund Freud's books.
Yeah.
And Freud was asked about it. And he famously said, well, thank God they're burning my books, because if this was back in medieval times, they'd be burning me. It's just my books.
That's the truth, isn't it? Isn't it though? Yeah. Like, we've evolved in some ways, I suppose, as regards that, but certainly, like, there are views around what should be intellectual reading and what shouldn't be read is ridiculous. Like, they need to evolve with that.
They do.
I think children do deserve to know and feel comfortable with things. I mean, isn't this the thing that starts bullying and, hate and everything like that?
Lack of information.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what if a girl is more masculine or if a boy is more feminine, in their actions?
I remember growing up, I was brought up in an environment, Holy Catholic Ireland in the 70s and whatever. But my father was very anti-gay,
very
church,
homophobic.
I was brought up in that environment, so I thought that was normal. So I was anti-homosexuality and I didn't understand it until I would say right up until I started training to be a hypnotherapist.
No.
And there was two gay guys in the class. They were both ex-clergy.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was kind of suspicious of them. At first.
Because they were a priest or because they were gay?
Well, they were ex-clergy. And they were probably in their late 40s at the time. I think I was in my late 30s at the time. But I remember we were paired off to do certain things, to learn certain
into your triads.
things. Yeah. And I was paired off with this guy called Brian, who was one of the lads. And it went really well. We stimulation conversation over and back about what worked about the thing and what didn't, what we had problems with. I remember afterwards this light bulb moment kind of going, it doesn't matter. Why should it matter to me whether that guy likes men or women or whatever? It has nothing to do with me. He is a bright, intelligent guy, stimulating company to be a good conversationalist. I go, right, so like somebody else's sexual orientation has nothing to do with me. And it was a light bulb moment. And I go, right,
light bulb, I love it.
Yeah. And I kind of like suddenly woke up.
Yeah. Jesus, isn't that fabulous?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first time I ever seen gay people was when I was working in Dublin. I was about 18, I think, or that.
Right.
I'd never seen anybody gay before. But I remember things being said in the house at home, like, you know, horrible comments like would be said about somebody who's gay. Yeah. And my husband knows a lovely guy actually as well who had suffered terrible abuse, like, you know, because he was gay back in the 1970s and 80s, do you know? Like, it just wasn't a thing. And so many people died by suicide over here in Ireland as well because of that.
Yeah.
So I am 100% against this right-wing thing.
Censorship.
Oh my God, over in the States. Like, I just don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Like, I do believe, right, I do agree, and you'll be shocked, I agree with Trump when he says that children shouldn't be allowed to transition. You know, I think, okay, they're too little, they're too young to know.
Yeah.
Wait until they're older, because I do have a whole lot of social views, I suppose, really around.
Yeah, but I think scientifically, it's like your sexuality can be in a state of flux right through your teenage years, right, even up until almost like 20.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose certainly experimentation would be more normal probably for women, I suppose, than men, or it would be seen more normal. But definitely, I do think there's a whole load of stuff then. There's baggage around gender mutilation and all of this kind of thing, and I just don't agree with it for very young children or young teenagers. I definitely think that's an adult decision.
Yeah,
so when you pass the age of 18,
forced circumcisions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't like that. I think a child should be allowed, make their own choice, and I think like
it's
an
ridiculous
adult.
that God would stipulate that somebody can be allowed into heaven or not, regardless of whether they have a foreskin.
Absolutely, it's that to me doesn't make any sense
It's
at
like
all.
trying to get on a Ryanair flight going through an airport. Have you got your passport yet? Have you got a foreskin? Oh well,
No.
Can I bring it with me? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute, I can get one.
It's so unnecessary, to do
mad.
things like that. And I'm not dissing people that make that choice. I understand that people do really believe in their religion, and that helps them.
Religion can be a force for good.
Oh, it can be a wonderful thing for people. Like, it really is and can be. It just depends on the extremes it's taken to.
Yeah, I do even recommend to people, and I have done, that if they used to go to Mass and they haven't now, or sometimes I can say, would you not go back to Mass?
Yeah.
And why I'm doing it is because it's a connection to the community. They stop being isolated and suddenly start meeting people, chatting people.
Yeah,
and that can be very good therapeutic. And another thing is that we could be seen to be very anti-American.
We could be,
because of our criticism of what's going on.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I'm very pro-American. I love America. I think it's one of the best countries in the world ever. But I'm anti what's happening at the moment. And this is the thing, the way that they're checking people's phones and social media to go through airports and stuff. So if they were to check my phone and your phone, to see lots of stuff. But if you were to check anybody's phone in Ireland, there would be loads of memes and jokes and stuff about politicians, everybody, slagging the bejesus out of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're anti-establishment necessarily or whatever, but we take the piss out of everything.
Oh, the Irish are notorious for that, aren't we?
Yes, and
we love it. We take the piss out of each other regularly.
They confuse it at the moment. It's whether deliberately or otherwise. They kind of say, well, if you're critical of Trump, you're anti-American.
Yeah,
you're not.
It's not.
It's supposed to be a democracy. You are allowed to be critical.
Yeah.
And having a different opinion. You should be allowed.
Oh, definitely.
This idea of getting rid of people who have different opinion, like it goes right back to even Socrates had a problem where his views were vehemently, and he was forced to drink poison as a death sentence because of his views.
Mad.
Which is mad. So you kind of wonder, where is it going now? Like, will this stop with books? And this is the other thing.
I think they won't.
We'll finish on this. I think it's grossly hypocritical too, because the porn industry in America, I don't know, there's figures, something 80 billion a year or something, it's been made.
Wow.
70% of Americans will watch porn on a regular basis.
Wow.
They have this duality of, this porn industry versus they don't want to have books about certain things.
About somebody's natural
inclinations and sexual orientation.
to orientate towards whatever it is that they feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
I just think it's mental altogether.
Okay. No doubt we have probably agitated a lot of people who are kind of looking at this videos, but I would like to hear your views.
Just don't forget that we're paddies.
Yeah, I would like to hear your views. So we will read the comments and we can respond to those.
Yeah, brilliant.
If you've got views that are totally different to the ones we're expressing here, say them, express them, and have a cohesive dialogue with that.
Come on.
Yeah, we are the Happy Headers. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll talk to you soon.